I gotta go.
Hello, as Tom Catalini says, Melrosians the world over. I'm Jen LeClaire.
I'm Sam Hammer.
And I'm Tom Shampoo.
And missing from the lineup, obviously, is Tom Catalini, who would normally be here to say, and this is Let's Talk Melrose. Melrose, a show where Melrosians talk to other Melrosians about Melrose. Tom currently can't get no satisfaction in the 02176, and so he is currently on his way home from Pittsburgh. There he is.
Oh, look at that. Wow. Look at that.
Sam's filling in the sound. The sound effects are going to be off the rails. Tom went to see the Stones concert, so he'll, I'm sure, give you the
Pittsburgh,
full,
PA. My wife's hometown, Pittsburgh, PA.
Yeah.
Road trip. He's out there
with his brother,
gallivanting around with a 78-year-old Mick Jagger.
Wow.
Yeah, who still apparently runs 8 miles on the stage in one single concert. So hats off to them. So we miss you, Tom, and we'll see you next week.
He's probably watching from the car. There's no way he's missing this.
Of course he's watching from the car.
I'm sure he is.
We'll watch for comments coming in on it, and then we'll post Tom Catalini's comments. That's what
right. So what else did you guys do? It was a busy weekend in Melrose.
I'm still tired. Still tired. So a bunch of people went out and volunteered for Keep Melrose Beautiful again this year. Shout out to Demi Dubois. I heard Linda Apple went and cleaned up Melrose on her birthday. I did not make it to a full team, but whenever I did see somebody out there with a bag, I found some litter on the ground and then gave it to them. So that's
your contribution.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what my kids do to me. They'll hand me stuff. Here, Mom, can you throw this away? I'm like, what?
Look what I found.
That's the Mike Dukakis effort, which is he starts picking up trash. Mike Dukakis. Yeah.
If I walk over something, I feel like God, somebody's watching me. Walk over.
Yeah. But Keep Melrose Beautiful has done an amazing job of keeping that initiative alive and helping to keep Melrose beautiful. So
it helps.
It does, and we thank them for that. It's actually year-round work. Oh, Tom says yes, watching from the car. Hello, Tomcat. There he is. So what else, Sam?
Here's what happened. I'm sorry. Here's what happened at 8:28. Tom Catalini pulled over and said, "Your turn to drive, man."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
What else did you do this weekend, Sam?
Oh my gosh, I went to the Women's Commission event. They had a march or standout for women, and out in front of City Hall. It was moving. It was really wonderful to have that. And we talked about just getting more folks out there. But those who came out were really passionate about standing up for women's reproductive rights and all the fighting we still have left to do. So that was great. Tom Cat went to the swap day. I did not make it. He said he brought some stuff. What did he say? Somebody got something really great right before him. I forget what it was. But my analysis of that is everybody Marie Kondoed during COVID. I don't think that there's that much good stuff left to swap. And plus now throughout the year, people just put stuff out on Buy Nothing, as we will discuss later. Yes, we will.
There's some good stuff out there right now.
We did. I did see a couple of photographs come around. I didn't upload them here, so I'm sorry. But it looks pretty busy, and I love to see those events where people are sharing their gently used items with others, items that they no longer need anymore. So it's a nice event. Good for everybody who went.
Yeah.
So we do have a special guest joining us in a moment. So we should probably plow through the news. Let me see if I have a sound effect.
Let's do it.
Okay, good. Do the news effects. Definitely. I think there we go.
Okay. So
First thing.
Yeah, the redistricting maps are out.
Yeah.
So I am devastated. I feel like
I'm elated.
The wards and precincts. We should clarify the redistricting for Melrose wards.
Yes.
Yeah. There's still 7 wards, but they change a little bit.
They did change. So here they are
according
today.
to population. They need to make adjustments, right? I'm assuming based on growing populations in certain areas.
Ebbing and flowing. Yep.
Right.
So here's a nice clean line for 5-1, which is kind of where most of us are.
5-1 is the very lower left corner, the southwest corner of that map.
Yeah.
And then it turns into this, which I besides the colors being very jarring, I hate to see that we did where this orange peach meets gray. We've lost the west half of Crescent, which is a huge loss for 5-1.
And a huge gain for 3. So Ward 3 Councillor Rob Stewart, I hope you are rolling out the welcome mat for the Dugans and the Thimbles.
I know, and a bunch of people, even I think Bill Butler, maybe.
And Bill Butler, exactly.
Yeah, I live on Crescent, and yes, across the street from me is now being moved over to Ward 3. I'm in Ward 5. It's a little weird.
Our political mojo.
Your political capital just moved over.
I'll tell you what. If there are political questions, our guest coming on in a few minutes can help us navigate some of those questions. So
stick with us.
There we go. Yeah.
Are we going to announce this guest or not?
Also, a Ward 3. Well, he may, depending on how the show goes, he may want to.
He may bail out. All right. Well, let's plow through the other big news, and we're gonna mention it now, but then punt it to talk about it in more detail later. The library project was approved unanimously last night, so that's excellent news. We're going to stick with us because we're going to talk about that. Yeah, we're going to talk about that more a little bit later. In the meantime, we've got there's a lot of stuff happening in October coming up that we wanted to tell you guys about. So,
including one quick update, from Gail and Ferna. Here's an October update.
All right, thank you, Gail.
Red Sox are playing well. They're up 2-0 already.
Oh, we also got Heather McDonald in Ward 3 now too. Yes!
Wow, look at all that. All right, so let's get into the
events. So
okay,
go ahead, Sam.
No, there's this weekend. We've got a lot. It is Indigenous Peoples Day weekend. Follow the Melrose Historical Commission all week on social media. Sunday at 10. Sunday the 10th at 7 p.m. Our own Jim Bennett will do a virtual presentation for teens and adults on the Massachusetts tribe. To register, I'll send the email. Then on Monday, October 11th at 11 a.m., families and people of all ages can gather at the gazebo at El Pond for a presentation on this land, how Indigenous people lived here for thousands of years before the European invasion. Jim Bennett will again guide the audience through activities, and he's a professional orator, so it should be pretty good.
It'll be great. Yeah.
And then on Monday night, there will be screenings of 2 documentaries at the Highlands Congregational. So I'll put those in as well. And I'll take a breath while Jen does the next set.
Okay. Yeah. There are two separate documentaries and I guess a Q&A or a Zoom based talk afterwards, I think. And then this is a kind of a long-standing Melrose tradition, more than 10 years old. I apologize, I don't remember the exact year anymore, but the Melrose Art Walk is coming up, again, launching this weekend, October 9th through the 24th. Over 30 Melrose artists have their work displayed throughout Melrose in some of our business storefronts. And so that's a really wonderful kind of arts and business partnership. It's free. You can just kind of stroll around and become acquainted with some of the really talented visual artists in Melrose.
And then I'll do the wine tasting. I'm happy to do that. We have a wine tasting coming up for the Melrose High School Permanent Scholarship Fund. That wine tasting is Saturday, October 16th at 7 p.m. It's at Mount Hood Golf Club. I think we all went a couple of years ago to to this event. It was a lot of fun. Wine and spirits, I believe, at that time at least, wine and spirit tasting inside the golf course clubhouse. And this is for the Permanent Scholarship Fund. And I had 2 kids go through Melrose High School, and they both got something. Everybody in Melrose High School graduating class receives some amount of scholarship from this fund. They've given out $900,000 to 500 graduating seniors over the last couple of years. So it's really just an impressive fund. So do support that if you can.
Yeah, my question that I put out by text and you guys haven't answered yet. Yeah, we went last year, but are we going this year?
Have we not responded? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was like crickets out there. So I'm going with or without you guys. I'm going. It's a fun night.
I can't even think that far ahead. I can't get past tomorrow is another half day of school.
I know, right? Exactly. Oh, true. All right, Sam, you're up next.
But I will be at the Mave Walk. The Lincoln School is sponsoring a team again, but please go down. It's an amazing event. It's their 26th annual walk and candlelight vigil. And the theme this year I don't have on me, but it's very poignant. Hold on. It's better together, better with you. And it's a beautiful event. And if you haven't gone in the past, it's very moving. So the Melrose Alliance Against Violence, we've had Rebecca on the show before. And it just, anyway.
They're great.
October 24th, 4 p.m.
Great organization. Okay. And you have to register, right?
You do, but you can also just register there. I mean, I think.
Oh, good. Okay.
Welcome. Yeah.
It is technically a fundraiser, so please keep that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Perfect.
So.
Perfect. And then one of my favorite things coming up, the return. Speaking of Together, Melrose Together is bringing back the return of the pumpkin people to Melrose. So this is a creative placemaking community building experience. Melrose Together, which is just a group of volunteers doing fun and creative events in Melrose and bringing people together to help others and build community in partnership with the Melrose Rec Department. And this year, a new partner in the Melrose Farmers Market. So the way it works, there will be pumpkins available on at the October 21st Farmers Market. You can go and choose a pumpkin. Melrose Together will give you a sort of tips and tricks, how-to pro tips sheet about how to build and create a pumpkin person display. I don't think we have any pictures right now, but we'll show some next week, and they'll be on that flyer, or we'll post them. So you build a display that weekend, the 20, what is that, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, you can work on your pumpkin display in front of your business or your home. And then we'll have a form available where you can upload your picture and we will map it out. And the following weekend during Halloween, you can stroll and visit all the creative pumpkin displays. Last year, Kathy Vines and her neighbors did the Ghostbusters one. You guys remember that? There was some good stuff. You guys did Fauci.
We did Dr. Fauci, yeah. Yeah,
there was some, we did the Alice in Wonderland caterpillar. Alice, yeah, awesome. Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear her say that, because we talk about things and then just Sam and I just will them into happening.
If you say them on TV, then
it happen. Right.
It must be real.
So that's a fun event. That's right there in my skill set wheelhouse. So I'm excited for that one. All right.
And then on October 30, register for the YMCA Spooky Sprint. That's also a lot of fun. Be there in costume.
Do you mean like that?
Mm-hmm. Look at that.
I was honored to be the poster child of exercise and fitness.
There's the poster.
Metro
there's the actual poster. Look at that.
Definitely.
They did not call my manager, LeClaire, to get rights for that. But
there it is.
Very cool. That's a fun event. I feel like that's another thing that's become a really cool kind of like creative Melrose event. Yeah. Dressing up in costume and running around town. What is better than that? Maybe not the running part, but okay. That is
all right. Moving
everything
on.
We have for cool and fun stuff that's coming up in the month of October. October is going to be hot in Melrose.
But it is our honor and privilege to bring on the Honorable Mayor Paul Broder, who last night was able to present and in the library
vision, let's say.
Vision. And we were waiting on bated breath as a community to see if this would pass or not, and it did, and it passed unanimously. So thank you. Yeah, welcome. Oh, walk-up music.
Walk-up music. I just can't help but think. I know Mayor Inferno talked about this. This is the Red Sox game, so you guys are a little bit of of a ratings
We're-
disadvantage.
We're in a,
Oh,
Our
man.
ratings are pretty high for us. This is
Yeah.
pretty high.
You are right where you want to be, Mayor Broder.
What's the-
That's right. That's right. I'm home. I'm home.
yeah.
And it's kind of telling. I know this is a little bit off topic, but I'm feeling good about the Sox chances, not only because they're up 2-0 on a Bogarts home run, but they're showing old clips of Derek Jeter, which, with all due respect to the Yankees and the great player that Jeter was, it's time to move on. They haven't won since, I think, the year 2000, and I think it's going to keep on. It's going to keep on keeping on. The Sox are looking good, and I know the fake wood that the computer is sitting on.
Yeah. But it's also a win for Melrose.
A huge win for Melrose. It's a project that every member of the community, including some of them perhaps that haven't even been born yet, can know is going to be there. That is going to, it's going to be a watertight building, and it's going to be able to grow its programming, its services. It's going to be more accessible, and we're getting it for a little bit shy of 50 cents on the dollar, which is, an outstanding value for the taxpayers. I couldn't be more excited. I am so grateful for the community support. If you watched the meeting, you heard several of the councilors talk about the huge amount of email and other communication that they heard from the community, virtually unanimously in support of the project. So kudos to them for being very deliberative and careful about the process. And I really want to thank my team. They all did a tremendous job, both on the financial piece, the planning piece, and particularly for Linda Gardner, has been a patron and a leader of the library for so long, to be able to take that next step in her profession and for the community. It's just it really was a great night. It really was.
Oh, yeah, it seems like it. It does.
It was good. And I did. Oh, go ahead.
Well, please, Sam, go ahead.
Oh, I'm thoroughly researched. So please, Tom, you first.
I just wanted to add a comment to your opening comments, Paul. Thanks. It does feel like there's a real energy across the entire city about this project. And I know people are excited to have this thing come to completion. I know that the library, which already is the heart and soul of a community already, but I think when it's renovated in a couple of years and opened, it's going to add so much more to the city that we don't have right now. It's going to be great. So I think everyone's excited about that. That's all.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I did watch most of the meeting last night. Most of it I watched this afternoon. I maybe dozed for a smidge, but I got it all in my dream.
Not when I was on screen.
No, never.
That was no. But I think this was an interesting exercise in real community engagement. So I was really fascinated. I had suspected to hear some comments from some of the counselors and questions, specifically from Sean McMaster and Mark Garapay, who had some questions that they wanted to dive into a little bit, although he kind of tipped his hand that he was going to vote yes, but still has some questions to ask and just wanted to make sure that things got on the radar about future projects and how we're going to be able to afford these future projects, which I really do appreciate, because having worked with him on the override campaign, knowing that Melrose is first in his mind when he makes
thoughtful. Yeah.
so I really do appreciate everything he brought.
He remembers some of the bad times. People sometimes forget that back around 1990, things were not so good, and I think some of us, not me certainly, but some folks forget about that. And so when you hear some of the dry information about this is kind of what we think of as our borrowing limit or our debt cap and all that stuff, it sounds a little bit kind of wonky, but it's one of the reasons why we haven't gone back into that ditch that was 30 years ago, but certainly still something that folks remember.
Yeah. And, I think the preparation for a lot of this, we also watched and talked about the library, the presentation at the Learning Commons. And and, the amount of rigor that went into that presentation by you and Margot Fleischman, also fan of the show, former guest. I think it really, people are paying attention to municipal finance. I still am more so than ever before.
Yeah.
So,
And also that presentation, the questions were anticipated in advance. You knew what the questions were going to be, and they were all covered, and they were all explained really carefully and succinctly in a way that was easy to understand, easy to digest. I thought all of the communication around this was really, really well done. And we talk a lot about that on the show. We talk a lot about communications and beer gardens, and
A lot of that.
the communications on this one was really well done, I thought.
Oh, thank you. And that, that's what I think that made a lot of a difference. There were definitely folks that I spoke to, both on the council and out in the community at large, that started out saying, why would we do this? For some of the reasons you heard. Are there other things we need to do? Can we really afford it? Is this a priority? And that's what we tried to explain to folks, right? That we did the tours so people could see in real time what the condition is like in the video tours, so that there was an understanding. This isn't by any stretch of the imagination a vanity project. It is very much a repair and restoration and an expansion of the physical space, but also an opportunity to do more, to have a 21st century library.
Yeah.
I think that the timing is so interesting, because I think kind of coming out of COVID, as we've all reevaluated the need for new thinking around workspaces and community spaces and gathering spaces. This is just such the right opportunity at the right time for us. That's something that's really exciting. We're in front of that, which is cool.
And again, to get all of that, as Paul mentioned earlier, at basically half price, right? So that's incredible, really.
Not to be too kind of pie in the sky about it, but there's also something about.
Oh, you're adding a beer garden? Is that?
Not quite.
Okay.
That's next
Okay.
show.
Not quite that pie in the sky. Okay, what?
Libraries as a cornerstone of democracy, free civic information. Professionals that can help guide you through some of the less reputable sources. And there's something kind of neatly poetic about the fact that we're moving forward with the library on the day that Facebook crashed.
Right.
Kind
yes.
of a nice juxtaposition of two things.
Yeah, totally. Yes, totally.
That's a great point. Yeah.
So we have some fans that are chiming in here. I like Allie's best, I think.
We'll work on that next. We'll work on that one next.
It's the market.
Yeah.
So what I remember though from last night also were there were some unanswered questions still, like what's next and where will the collections go, and looking for space and rental costs and all that stuff. So we're excited to hear kind of what this will look like in the future, and of course have some opinions. But so yeah, keep us posted. Well, we'll keep everyone posted on that as soon as.
Absolutely. Now this is going to be the information train will not end. That is right. And certainly it's the nature of. I mean, we certainly want to do that as an administration, but it is kind of cooked into the nature of library people to want to engage and communicate, because it's really it's part of their job. It's part of why they get into the business, if you will. Yeah. No one more excited than them in certain respects to have this kind of this new set of tools to offer the community.
Is it expected that the staff size will increase once this opens up, or will it be roughly the same size staff?
Oh, that's about 2 years away, so stay tuned. I think there will be, certainly an appetite for things like expanded hours. I know there are folks that wanted to open earlier, some folks that want, summer hours on the weekend, and certainly looking forward to having that discussion. As always, there's a lot of competing priorities, but I think one thing is that about investing in the library is my expectation is that it'll become more popular. It'll grow as a resource. It's funny. I got a communication from a guy who said, do we really need this? He did say books are dead. I disagreed on that point, but he said it sounds like what we really need is a community center. Well, that's what this is, right? The modern library,
Right.
with the proper kind of infrastructure, is all that. It's community space, it's meeting space, and the current library is that as well, but it's kind of a little bit a round peg in a square hole sometimes, trying to make it all work at once. And again, it's just an opportunity. We will see things go on in the library that we aren't even thinking about right now because of the nature of what we're going to be doing.
Oh no, we're thinking about it actually. No worry. In 2 years time.
There was a fabulous fabric.
Textile display exhibit.
That must have just got installed.
In 2 years' time, if you're looking for an arts and cultural director for the library, I'll be done with my program by then. Just saying.
Just put your name out there.
Saying.
And in the
as
meantime,
long as we still have this opportunity.
Yeah. In the meantime, Jen and I are putting together the Friends with Benefits of the Library.
Right.
So
I just
new
want to point
organization.
That sounds dangerous.
The Boston Public Library has a place where WGBH can do live shows. I'm just saying, if you want to have a live show, let's talk Melrose.
You got to stay open though.
A little studio. That's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
We'll staff it. We could staff it.
No problem.
Yeah, sure. Volunteers and everything.
But speaking about having opinions on things, we noticed also that you've newly rebuilt your public safety building committee.
Yep.
And so here it is. You've got strong opinion leaders on there.
Some good folks on there.
Fantastic,
including our own Eugenia Gibbon.
Eugenia.
So that's going to be.
Is she like emeritus now? Is she an alum? How do you describe her?
She's
always on the bench. Always on the bench.
Always on the bench.
We're always waiting for her.
Ready to go.
Yeah. She doesn't show up. She can't make it this week.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, now that Tom Catalini is not here, he was very interested in helping out with this one. So if you need additional opinions, 2.5 cents, he would be happy to provide those.
So there's a tremendous amount of public interest in this.
Yeah.
Kind of a bunch of different
rightly
ways.
so. Sure. Yeah.
And one of the things that happened with there is a study, if you will. There is a process that went on, maybe several years ago, that resulted in some very detailed information in 2 binders full of information, but that never made it out into kind of the public realm, as far as I know. I mean, I knew a little bit about the details because in my role as state rep, there was an issue about land acquisition and MBTA, yada, yada, yada. But I don't think anyone knows what that process was. And because of the nature of this beast and the expense that is going to be associated with it, it is almost unquestionably going to have to be a debt exclusion. It doesn't fit in the model. We talked about that during the library process and tried to be very clear about that. And you always want to be clear, but the fact that this is going to go to the voters means that it has to be a public process all along the way. So that folks know, pros and cons of various plans, various impacts that might have. And we're raring to go. And I know I can tell you both the chairs. Eugenia has actually agreed to co-chair with Jeff McNaught. Breaking news! You heard it here first.
All right, love to break news.
And they are both
take that, Kraji.
They are both very, very committed, as I am, to an open process.
Yes,
all along the way, because I think it is a better practice to, have the input into the plan so that when it comes time to vet whatever the decision is, people already know how we got there, what went before, what the pros and cons are, what the cost metrics might be for any particular thing. I'm excited to do it, and all the folks that are both have a formal role right now in the committee and other stakeholders that worked in it before are all raring to go. Now, just want to be clear. this is not something that happens overnight. I think
Right,
folks,
sure.
I think folks get that, but we got to start somewhere,
Yeah.
particularly with the public engagement process.
Yeah.
And so we are.
Well, I'm also super excited to see Jason Chen on here as well. He does not hold back, and he's one of the most fascinating Melrosians I've met in 2021 post like COVID times.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about having him come on the show, and he's just fantastic.
Yeah.
So
it's all good stuff. Things are moving these days, and it's really exciting. Some victories. No, I mean this is great. This is really great,
and it's good for it's been a kind of a rough ride for a lot of reasons. We all understand.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Speaking of moving and rough riding,
let's jump in here.
It's picking the stones.
I hope you pulled over.
So listen, we pulled over. We just made it across the border to the Massachusetts state line.
Yay!
All right. Wait, so
we're at the famous Charlton rest stop.
Look at that.
Oh yes, it is famous.
Where dreams are made.
Yeah, maybe.
We're pretending to get gas because there's good lighting over here.
All right. So Tom, I couldn't hear you. You pulled over or you were pulled over?
Right.
Right. Mr. Mayor, thank you for chiming in on the set list. I was glad to see that you approved of that.
Absolutely.
The show was fantastic. The best entertainment I've seen outside of Melrose, maybe in my life. Good show. We had a great time. This is my brother, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
I can't tell what's happening. Anyway, we had a great journey, but there's any great journey. It's just great to be heading home to 02176. And I can rest my head on the pillow tonight knowing that the library project was approved.
Hey.
Yes, did Nick mention that? Did Nick give it a little push by any chance?
You'll be resting your head on your Ward 5 pillow.
That's right.
I'm in Ward 5?
You're still in Ward 5. Barely.
As we sit here today.
Wait, is Shampoo in Ward 5?
You are in Ward 5. Others
are
across the street are not.
You're breaking up, Tom. You're breaking up.
It's all breaking up.
Yeah.
All right. We're
going to have to see you around town.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see you. Thanks for popping in, Tom.
I hope it's not going to be like a Russell Park Civil War over the
so dedicated.
I think there might be. I'm devastated. I think we need to recalculate and recalibrate.
No way.
I'm gonna public comment. There's going to be gerrymandering all over the place. I cannot take this.
There's a lot of software out there.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right.
Well, I haven't heard from neighbors yet, but I'm anxious to hear from the neighbors who are now in a different ward. So I'm just curious. I haven't heard anything, but we'll see.
Well, they still have to vote it. Yeah, they still have to vote it. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right.
I'll be calling my current ward ward counselor.
I vote for a chess match for residents on the border. That's in our favor.
Right.
You know.
You have Stewart and Casella. I'm out.
Yeah, that's right.
And through redistricting, it gets very challenging to slice here and swing things.
Yeah,
there.
I'm sure.
I don't know,
I'm happy to represent the whole city. So
yes, and we're happy that you're doing so as well.
Yeah.
All right, we probably have to wrap things up.
Yep. Sam, you have yes on the rollout music. Sam?
I do.
All right.
Some of our top fans have a question for the mayor.
Right.
We should do that.
The Buy Nothing pages are the Buy Nothing group is quite active right now.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Do I have it? I don't have any.
Image?
I don't.
Go ahead.
But we noticed, or it was brought to our attention. Can you confirm or deny that Stephanie Catalini did provide your house with some Miralax?
I was in on the front end. I don't know. I don't know if we were the lucky winners. For us.
You have to, tell a compelling story of why you
I
should
know.
be considered. So the options are just endless.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I found my limit.
Oh my God, that's great. That
Anyway,
Buy Nothing
you're
has
a good
expanded a little
Yeah.
bit more. The Buy Nothing
Karaji
universe is
also-
bigger.
Karaji's not even in this world, but
I
and
know.
it didn't break that news either.
right.
Alrighty,
Right.
alrighty.
You're a good sport, Mayor Broder. Thank you so
Yeah,
much
thanks
for
so much.
being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys. Come back. I'll come back anytime.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
awesome.
Great.
You're
Thanks a
welcome.
lot.
You're welcome anytime. Thank you so much.
You bet.
All right.
And Sam, you're gonna play the
We just like left. All right.
All right.
He's not
We'll
hanging
catch him
out for
next
the
time.
after
Yeah.
party.
I would too. I would just leave.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Bye. We'll see you around town, everybody.
How's that? Is that good?
No, that was terrible.
No, it's good.
Okay. There you go.
Can't hear it.
Now you can't hear it.